It's your girl, Lena.
Hey, boy, Kev.
And we are back with more Love is Under Construction. It's been a while.
It's been a long time coming.
Yes. How you been, Kev?
A lot has went on within
Definitely.
these past couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Has it been 2 weeks? I don't remember how long it's been. That's not good, but we back on it, though.
Exactly.
Today we talking about turn-offs and turn-ons.
Mm.
And like Joe, I want to know what turns you on. So let's get into it.
What are your turn-ons?
Turn-ons for me are you gotta smell good. If you stink, I can't. It's not going nowhere. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't tell you stink. I'm gonna just fall back slowly. Like,
Wow.
emotionally. Is that wrong?
I would want to know if I'm.
But you should. You
I would want to know
before anybody knows. You know.
Some people don't.
Are they that used to the smell?
I can't speak for them, but some people don't. I feel like if you like them and something ain't right, tell them what's up. You stink. You funky. You got to fix that.
Nah. Another one is a respectable mouth. Respectable mouth.
What do you mean by that?
As far as just cursing, using profanity all the time.
Do you curse?
Only when I'm upset.
Mm.
So it's rare that I do. I try not to.
Okay.
And another turn on is a sense of humor. You gotta have a sense of humor because I laugh at everything. And if you over there just stuck up and mad and serious all the time, it's not gonna work.
Right.
So what are some turn-ons for you?
Turn-ons for me would definitely include someone who can make me laugh and someone who is very gentlemanlike. He doesn't always put himself first.
You mean so a selfish. The guy shouldn't be
right.
So okay.
Very selfless, but not selfish. That's the turn on. And the last one for me would be somebody who's open-minded and not so closed-minded about things, and someone who isn't willing to learn new things and take risks.
Yeah, I could see how that would be big, especially if it's something new.
Right.
You got to be open-minded.
Definitely.
It's not going to work.
Just don't isolate yourself to one or certain things.
Well, some people come in with perceived ideas and thoughts on how it should be and how they want it to go and how it should go.
Exactly. And we discussed this before. It's never okay to go in with that mindset. You have to know that this is a different person. The situation is different and expect different things.
So when should you discuss that with the person you're dealing with? Like, should that be early on in the dating? Should you wait until you're in a relationship? Should you do it when y'all start talking? Like, when should that be discussed?
That's a great question. I think for me, though, I would prefer it to be a conversation had early on so we know what to expect of one another.
But once you feel
versus
couldn't that affect how somebody moves though or acts? Like, you want them to be their self, but if you're telling them what turns you on, turns you off, they're going to try to cater to those things in a sense.
But in the same respect as well, you can say the same thing during a relationship.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the conversation has to be had. Still be yourself, but keep in mind, this is what turns me on. If you really like me and want my attention and want me to stick around, especially if you're in the relationship, because remember, it's not just about you or me anymore. It's about us.
Right. So basically, the lady or the girl I'm dealing with, I know this turns her on, so I'm going to try to incorporate this somehow.
Right. Don't try too hard.
What you mean?
Still be yourself, but have those things in mind. Keep them in mind. Don't let it eat you up and beat yourself up about it.
I feel like it'll be fake though, because you told me, and now it seemed like, oh, now I need to do this. I feel like you're gonna be expecting that after you told me.
So when do you expect the turn-ons and turn-offs to be discussed?
Honestly, I wouldn't discuss it unless she asks me what turns me on and what turns me off. I honestly wouldn't. Well, I probably should discuss that because that could prevent problems, especially concerning the turn-offs.
Exactly.
If something turns her off, I don't want to do it. Like, if I know it turns her off, then I'm not going to do it.
Especially if it's something that you can evidently change. You know what I mean? Like you spoke on the profanity thing. If you told someone it's a turn off for you to curse so much, she could stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? She could still be herself and curse less. That's a change that could be made. But I feel like when we have that conversation, sometimes we have to be realistic as well.
So you said your turn-ons. What turns you off? What turns Lena off? What can't you stand about a dude?
See, that's a long list. That's a long list.
Y'all women, here y'all go. Go
ahead. And honestly, it's turn-offs, not just in relationships, but with people, friends, family, selfish people, liars. I don't like a sneaky person. I don't like lazy people. I don't like a person that make excuses. I don't.
She in her feelings.
I am. I can go on and on about my turn-offs. But the main ones, I guess, would be someone who isn't open-minded. It would be the opposite of my 3 turn-ons. Someone who isn't open-minded, who's selfish. And another turn-off would be someone who's very impatient.
How patient do you expect someone to be? Maybe you doing too much, or
I say that because how I am, and I guess I can agree to that. I could be too much, but in that defense, I would say I've dealt with people who were also too much, but because of the fact I had care and the love for them, I put up with it.
So in a sense,
and I had patience.
So in a sense, what you're saying is basically someone who won't give up on you or give up easily.
Yeah, not even just matters of a relationship, but somebody who gives up quickly on anything. Like, you got to keep going. I like a go-getter, like somebody who don't stop in all aspects.
Oh.
Somebody who don't stop.
Her eyes lit up over here.
Oh my goodness. But yeah.
But you got to know when to walk away from a situation or let something go or stop giving time and effort to it, all right?
Definitely. But in certain circumstances that, you have to decide, I guess.
All right, well, turn off for me is smoking. We've had conversations offline, and I can't stand a girl that smokes. Especially cigarettes. If you smoke cigarettes, I'm gonna think you don't want to be alive, and that you hate yourself.
So what about weed?
Because they stink. Weed. I've dealt with someone that smoked weed before, and we didn't have a problem because, to my knowledge, it wasn't an everyday thing, and she never did it around me. Like, I never smelled it on her or anything. So I guess it worked out. Well, it didn't work out in the end because we're not together no more.
Well, I don't presume it's from her smoking weed.
No.
Okay.
Another turnoff is females that feel they need to go out all the time. You don't gotta, like, why you need to turn up all the time?
Right.
Why you can't stay at home sometimes?
I agree.
Especially if you got a man. or if you dating somebody, you should be using that time to spend with them, to do stuff with them, to get to know them. Another turn off is, I think every guy can attest to this. We hate when y'all complain and nag us constantly about everything, every little thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, I don't have time. We don't got time for that, right, y'all?
We don't got time for y'all to be doing everything too. So that's why some women do it.
The last turnoff I'm gonna say is people who do stuff at the last minute or wait to the last minute to want to do something. That just irks my nerves. Be considerate of what I have going on. Like I have a life too. So just give me an advance notice or
Right.
like plan it out.
Right. Be considerate of people's time. Do you think a relationship can come about or even continue if we're dealing with someone who display one or the many turnoffs?
Do I think the relationship? So do I think the relationship can?
If they're not in a relationship yet, but the person is displaying things that turn them off, or they are in a relationship and the person is displaying one or more things that turn them off, do you think some success can come from that?
It depends from the perspective of the person that's being turned off.
Mm-hmm.
They will have to decide whether or not they want to let that person know what you're doing is bothering me,
right?
Or to just completely not deal with them at all.
Right. So that goes back to what we were saying. Obviously, the conversation has to be had. And I feel like it's always best as early as possible.
Right. But at the same time, you're not going to give every single thing that turns you off and on. Even if that conversation is had, it's still possible they can do something that turns you off.
So again, would you? Well, you said it depends on.
Yeah, if it depends on how much I like the girl, how much I'm feeling her.
Right.
Turn-offs and turn-ons. Give them at your discretion. That's all I can say about it. If you feel the need to discuss that with the person you're dealing with, discuss it.
Definitely.
If not, then just leave it alone and see what happens.
But don't wait too long to talk about it. I feel like it's not fair to the other person though, if they're doing something that they don't know turns a person off.
It's that big C word, basically.
Communication. Definitely.
We finished, or we done? Okay, y'all. It's about that time. For that, you need to stop award. Today I had a bit of trouble, I should say, looking for someone who needs to stop. And I stumbled across an interesting story on Media Takeout about a thief in Houston, Texas. Now, we all know what's going on in Houston, Texas. A very devastating time. One that's out of everyone's control. Nevertheless, there's a thief in Texas who is stealing rims off of cars. Now, this sounds like crackhead activity to me. No disrespect to the crackheads out there. I hope you all get better. But back to the story. This has to be, I pray, it's only for money purposes, in which I understand. I get it. Would I go around stealing rims? Absolutely not. Would I want somebody stealing my rims? Absolutely not, which is why I'm glad he's in Houston and not in New York. But whoever you are, rim thief, or is it a fetish? I don't know. And I'm assuming it's a guy. I don't think anyone would do that. So, my brother, you need to stop.
So that is it for this episode of Love is Under Construction. It's your girl, Lena.
And your boy, Kev. And don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Follow us on Twitter.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel at Love is Under Construction.
Thanks for listening.